Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I made this Phase 1 Captain Rex helmet with a moving rangefinder out of cardboard. I don't want to keep you guys waiting, so let's get right into it. First, I started by drawing out the facial details onto a piece of paper, then cutting them out to make a nice little template for the helmet. Then I made a little ring that fits around my head to glue the faceplate onto, then traced out and cut up the faceplate. Now that the faceplate was attached, I got to work on the little chin, and yeah, that's what you see me doing right here. Next, I got to work on the cheek, as well as that piece that angles out and downwards all the way around the helmet. So this did take a lot of tries. It was definitely, I think, the hardest part of the whole helmet, just because of that angle and how it's supposed to curve around and connect to the cheek piece. I think it just took a lot of time to just try a lot of time because I didn't make templates for this build at all, so it was just all trial and error until I finally made a piece that fits. And once I had a piece that actually fit the helmet, I made the same thing on the other side. Alright, so for these parts, the parts that go over here, I have two pieces that look just like this. Not exactly the same, but as similar as I can get it, because these two sides aren't exactly the same, so this piece isn't exactly the same either. So we're just gonna go in kind of like this. This, and this is the best design I've come up with, and I'll see you on that. What you see right now is me just gluing those pieces onto the main helmet. Since I took so much time to make these pieces, it was so satisfying seeing it all fit nicely together, and I'm quite happy with how this turned out. After I had those two glued, I started working on the rest of the cheeks, basically just using little pieces of cardboard to fill in whatever gaps there were and making it look nice and clean. After I was done that, I trimmed the bottom a little bit just to make the shaping a little bit better, then got to work on the back of the helmet. I just took a big piece of cardboard, then trimmed it to make it fit the back of the helmet, and it turned out pretty nicely. I didn't cut it too much or too little, so it fit nicely. And I also worked on the pieces at the bottom that goes down and out. This was a lot easier to do than the ones at the front because I didn't need to worry about them fitting into the cheek panels or just the angle. I just took two pieces of cardboard, cut them into shape, trimmed them a little, and just folded them and glued them on. So yeah, that part was not as hard as the front. Alright, as you can see, the whole bottom part is finished. And now I'm gonna have to work on the dome, but a thing I noticed is, because of the cheek panels, it's a very tight fit for my head, and it's actually kind of painful to put on. So I don't think I'm going to be wearing this. I'm just going to have it as a display on my shelf with my other helmets. It's just a thing I noticed about my helmets, because yeah, these weird cheek panels, they're always bit too tight for me, except for my Fordo helmet, where I sort of like made this panels like a bit less, with a bit less depth. Not as accurate, but at least I can wear it. So with that said, I will go work on the dome. Alright, so this is my progress on the dome. It's just a strip of cardboard with some dense color on it. I also added some little support pieces here and there inside so that the helmet will stay together. And I just trimmed the back a bit, and now I just gotta go downstairs, finish the dome, and maybe fix a few things that just don't look right. So, I'll see you when that is finished. Over here, you can just see me working on the dome a little bit more. All I did was add 2 strips of cardboard to each side and glued them on. I also used little pieces to support the strips, as you can see right now. After that, I wasn't too happy with how the front was, so I cut it off and then I trimmed it a little bit until the shape was one that I was satisfied with. Here you can see me just finishing the dome. I took a piece of cardboard, put it underneath the dome, like just put it against where it would go. Then I traced out a shape that would fit into the helmet, fit into the dome, then cut it out and added some dents and glued it in. I think this is one of the better domes I've made, and I'm quite proud of how it looks. After that, I got to work on the side details. Basically, I just took thin strips of cardboard, and then just glued them onto the helmet, traced out a piece that would cover it up like that, and did the same for the other side as well. Afterwards, I cut out a piece of the back to add that detail and put a big piece of cardboard behind it. Right now you can see me working on the fin, and the fin was especially annoying because I had to make it fit nicely on the top of the head. So I needed to use a bunch of reference images and searched up how other people did it on YouTube. The video I'm watching right now is by RJ Productions. And when I had a fin that I was happy with, I glued it on top of the helmet. So, the basic shape of the whole helmet is finished. Now I'm just gonna add some little details like a circle at the back and a little like circle around the ear pieces and the rangefinder, of course. And I'll spackle it up. So I have the strip cut out here, and I have a piece of cardboard behind it to make it look nice. And here I have a circle. I just used a yogurt bottle to trace out the shape of the circle, and I just added a little border, like a wall around it. It's gonna go on like this, and it'll look nice. Right now this is glued on, and it's looking pretty cool. I also made this little piece for the ear, and the circle, I just used a nail polish container, and just added a little border. It's basically a mini version of this, and it's gonna go in the ear like this. This is from a failed attempt, so don't mind that. But it's gonna go like this, and on the other side will be the rangefinder. Okay, so, as you might notice, I had to make a new one, this little side piece. That's okay. It works just fine. Other than the fact that the screen, which will be covered up with paint. But anyways, what this mechanism is just a little border over here, and just a little piece of cardboard in there to just give it, to just stop the piece from just going everywhere. And then we'll just let it up. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but this is a paint can lid, paint jar, bottle, the lid from. Right, so this is what the mechanism looks like. I had to make a new one of this, as you may have noticed, but it's okay. Basically what this is, it's a lid from a paint bottle of paint, and it just swings around. It's a bit wobbly, but it's okay. So it's fine, I think. And now let's work on the actual rangefinder. What the mechanism's looking like. I just poked a hole here with my X-Acto knife and just used my scissors in the end. And just put a barbecue screw inside and hot glued it on. And now I'm gonna attach this rangefinder piece that I made onto it, and I'll see you when that is finished. Rangefinder is attached. The camera won't focus. There we go. And it moves up and down pretty nicely. And that's pretty much it for the build part. Now I just gotta take this aside, spackle it, sand it, and paint it. Before I spackle it, I decided to fix one thing, which are the cheeks. Before, the cheeks, they went too far in, and I couldn't wear the helmet. But now, they don't go in as far, and I can actually wear the helmet, and it still looks pretty decent. So yeah, that's the only change I made. And I'm just gonna go spackle this now. As you can see, I am now spackling the helmet. I just scooped some spackling paste with my fingers and spread it over the helmet. One thing I think I did wrong is I think I applied too much spackling paste, because when I was finished and it was dried and I sanded it and I was about to paint it, it started cracking, so that wasn't really a good thing, so yeah. Right, I applied just a few more layers of spackle, and I primed it with some filler primer, and I think it looks pretty nice. Some areas I noticed that it needs just a bit more spackling, so I will do that tomorrow, and then I will be ready to paint it out with some more spackling and filler primer. Now it is ready for the part that is painted with blue, and I'll come back tomorrow when this is dry and mask off the details. Now I have all the blue areas masked off, and it's time to paint this whole thing. I put some white paint and it's all dry, and now it's time to take off the masking tape. You can see I did some here, and I think it looks pretty cool. There are some like white that sort of like smudged in the stripes, but that's actually good because I was going to actually manually do that for weathering, but no, that's what that looks like. As you can see, there's actually a lot of white, more white than I thought, but like I said, it's okay. I was going to do that anyways as paint chipping, but now it's time to weather the helmet. Alright, I went ahead and weathered everything and added a visor. The visor is just a piece of plastic which I colored with a Sharpie, and I think it looks pretty nice. As you can see, unfortunately there are quite a few cracks because I put too much spackle. That is something I definitely have to avoid next time, putting too much spackle. So yeah, that is the final little helmet, and the rangefinder does move, and it's also removable. So I like how this helmet turned out. I can see out of the visor pretty well, but also other people can like see inside the visor, so that's kind of unfortunate, but it still works. I quite like how this helmet turned out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So that is how I did it. How I made my Phase 1 Captain Rex helmet out of cardboard. Thank you all so much for watching, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. That's it for now, and I will see you all next time. Bye!